Hi everyone. Today I'm with my husband and I recently uploaded a video about the impact of the 40 days of raw fruits and vegetables, on my family and my marriage. And today my husband is here to share his own side of the story directly from the horse's mouth. So my name is Mfon.
I'm Eric Omoike.
And it's gonna be a Q&A. I'm gonna ask him a few questions and to let him say it for himself. So, I just completed 40 days of raw fruits and vegetables. I just said that. And the first question is, how did my 40 days of raw fruits and vegetables impact you?
Well, thank you very much for your question, and um, hello to everybody watching. The 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 40-day fast was good. I wouldn't say it wasn't good. It was good because it had a lot of positive effects on you. Your body, your mind, and your spirit. You know, and having said that, it also impacted me, and I believe the children too, in many ways. In fact, if I want to begin to share all, we will be here for the next 2 days, just talking about how it impacted me. Um, so just to kind of summarize it, it impacted me, physically, mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually. You know, um, when you're having that kind of long fast, it will, it will bring some changes to your body. If you remember, there are times I'll be asking you, are you okay? You look sick. You look sick. Your face is looking lean. Is looking this. Is looking that, because you were losing fat on your face and your skin, and you were not looking the way you used to look before. So it was disturbing me, and I kept asking you, but because you were so focused on what you were doing, you were not really paying attention to the things, to my observation. And so I didn't feel good that I was telling you how this thing was impacting me, and you were not really listening to me. So bodily, it was making you look differently than how you used to be. And then we, as a family, we were not eating together throughout that period. Even if we were all sitting at the table, you will bring out your own food, and to me, it was like there was this loss of community. There was this loss of fellowship within us. When all of us, me and the kids, are eating a particular food that you cooked, and then you are eating a different particular thing. It was looking somehow. And then to put icing on your whole cake, the food usually would not taste well. And I will always say, did you this food? Did you taste this food? Did you taste this food? Did you taste this food? And it will be different. I mean, it was not the way it used to be. And I would bring your attention to it, and you will just, again, you were not really listening, because your focus was on what you were doing. And then when you now, so bodily, you were not looking the way you used to look. on the table, food, you were not eating, all of us, the whole family was not eating the way we used to do. And then to put the other icing on the cake, when it's now time to be intimate, or you understand now, you were not, you look like somebody who has been on the mountain for 1 year. And I was just like, let me just leave this woman alone, so that so like I said, if I go on, it impacted me very negatively. And I don't know if we bring the children in to say their own part, what they will say, but it actually did impact us, even though it was doing you a lot of good, but it was also impacting us in a not so good way. So I'll stop there.
All right, thank you so much. But the reality is that I really did have a lot of energy, but to my husband, um, he was like, "You are not looking strong. You're looking sick to me. You're looking weak." So I'm like, okay, if that's what you feel, all right, let me just mind my business. And that impacted our intimate life. So the second,
how can you look you're dry, weak, and then you say you have energy?
I wasn't looking weak.
To you,
I was doing 30 minutes of exercises every day. You usually see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how was I weak?
Okay, all right. Let's leave it there.
So it was my decision because I really wanted to, finish up with my weight loss journey, because it's a journey. A journey normally have a start and an end. So my plan, even though I didn't really discuss that with him, that before my 40th birthday, I'm done with weight loss. I've reached my goal. I don't want to be more, involved in weight loss and move on to something else. So that takes me to the next question. Was I being selfish or insensitive to you?
Again, I would say yes and no. Or wait, I would say yes. Let me leave the one no.
Okay.
I'll say yes, because okay. Let me go back. Let me withdraw my words. I'll say yes and no. Yes, in the fact that there are some needs that I had that were not being met. I was observing and telling you some things, and you were not paying attention. It was like you were just here, and then you still continue what you're doing. There was no solution. For example, like the issue of like the food. For example, when I kept saying that the food is not tasting the way it is, it's not tasting the way it is, it's not tasting the way it is. If you had listened to me, we would have said, okay, how are we going to deal with this? Okay, I'm fasting, I'm eating fruits and vegetable alone. I'm not doing. I don't want to swallow. Would have been able to figure out a way to make sure that okay, at least the things you are cooking are eatable, by me and by the children. So in a way, that's why I said yes, as in yes to being, selfish and what's the other word now? Insensitive, to the way I was feeling. No, in the sense that you were doing what you needed to do for your own health, for your own well-being, for your own wellness. You were trying to get your body back into shape, before, that was your goal, and that was your objective, that was your focus. And And part of the reason why I, just kept going throughout that 40 days was that I wanted you to be able to fulfill your goal and your objective, which was to do that 40 days and to get back in shape. So that's why I said no when it comes to selfie, because you had to do what you needed to do for your health. But yes, in the sense that you did not pay attention to my own need for us to be able to find a common ground to tackle those things so that everybody is okay. You are okay, I'm okay.
All right, that was a good one, and I just want to add that I'm so grateful for Eric, my husband, for being so, um, understanding, for those times that the food wasn't tasting great. It wasn't harsh. It was just like it's not like it used to be, but I understand that you're doing this for your health, but it was difficult. So thank you for your understanding and for seeing that I achieved the goal of, getting back in shape, and maybe from now henceforth. I just celebrated my 40th birthday a few days ago. I'm maintaining it. So I wasn't, I feel, well, in a sense I was selfish and I wasn't, because sometimes self-care can be selfish. Taking care of yourself, making sure that you have the energy, you put in the mask on your face before you have the energy to be able to put on another person. So sometimes self-care can be selfish, and that is what I did for my health, and it was for a short period of time. So I hope I did apologize to him. I hope I'm forgiven, and I know my kids understood with me, and we are doing great now. So the next question is, what would you tell someone who wants to take this fast? Maybe a single person or a married person, or the husband or the wife, or what would you tell them?
Before I get into that question, I know some people will be wondering, is it why is it that it's you that must cook? Why can't you cook too?
I know.
Some people might be wondering that. My answer to that is that in our home we have our own organization. There are some things that I do, and there are some things that she does,
Right.
and there are some things that the children too do. So your own might be different from ours. So that's how we run our own family here. There's some things she does, there's some things that I do, there's some things that the kids do too. So I hope that answers that. If you have any doubt, why is she the one doing this and why are you the one doing this? Everybody, we have what we do. So back to your question. What I would tell a person, especially if you're married, if you're, because these things, there are many things you can do well, or let me say, there are many things you can do comfortably if you're single, or if you live alone. You're not living with anybody. There's so many things you can do on your own. You can do anything. But when you're living with somebody, your husband or your spouse, and you can't do everything, and you can't do anything. You have to do things. You have to do things always considering the other person. And that is what makes marriage, blissful. So if you have the capacity to do these 40 days, take some time, sit down with your spouse and talk about it. Talk about it. For some persons, you may not have done it before, like you had not done this 40 days. I know you've done 3 days, 10 days, but you had not done that stretch of 40 days. And we were both not, we didn't really know how to deal with the effects as it began to show up. Like when you began to look different and all that, we did not plan how we're going to solve that problem. So take some time, see if your spouse, your husband or your wife is okay with it. If there are some needs, negotiate. How are you going to meet this need? If it is food, if it is intimacy, if it is community, if it is communion, it is fellowship, negotiate. Okay, this is how we are going to do. Take care of this, take care of that, take care of this. And then if your spouse, if your wife is not in agreement, then you just you leave it aside. My point is, if your husband or your wife is not in agreement, you can do 3 days, you can do 5 days, you can do 7 days, you can do 10 days, you can do 1 day. It doesn't have to be 40. But make sure that you speak with, as in have a good conversation with whoever you may be. It could even be your sister or your brother. If you're living with other people that this will impact, find time to talk with them and also create a plan ahead how you are going to meet these things, so that at the end of 40-day fasting, you don't scatter your marriage before the 40 days is over. So that is my 50 cents.
All right. So thank you so much for your understanding. Thank you for allowing me to do this. And this is a forum, that we feel that we can share with other couples. And if anybody, like he said, if a married person is trying to consider doing this, this is like our experience. So I didn't want to say advice, it's our experience. So pick whatever you feel you need, and you can drop some and you make your own decision. So thank you so much for watching. Do you have any last thing to say?
You see me next time again. Maybe next time she does another 40 days or 50 days or 100 days. You will see me here again. Bye-bye.
I don't think that will happen with all the side effects that came with it. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye-bye.